Qualcomm has been one of the biggest semiconductor companies out there for years. It has been making the SoCs for the mobile devices ranging from the budget segment to the high-end, top-notch flagship devices made by the companies like Samsung, HTC, LG, and many more. Recently, this giant has announced its all-new top-notch flagship semiconductor chip, or we can say an SoC, which is Snapdragon 835, which will replace the current generation 820 and 821. This is GeetChauhan and welcome to Future Unbox. The chipset is made up with 10 nanometer architecture, which is made by Samsung's FinFET technology. Now, switching from 14 nanometer to 10 nanometer architecture is a huge leap, and it will be beneficial for so many purposes. Qualcomm claims that the devices which are made with these SoCs, or the devices which are using these SoCs in their design, will be 40% more power efficient. So these devices will use less power than the previous generation ones. At the same time, these devices will be using the new Kryo architecture, which will be 27% more powerful than the previous generation, or we can say the current generation processors like Snapdragon 821. One thing that you should consider in your mind is the current generation Snapdragon 820 and 821 chipsets are actually used in so many devices right now. And recently OnePlus 3T was released with this Snapdragon 821. So these SoCs are not that much old and they are still powerful. As there is an upgradation of CPU, at the same time there will be an upgradation of GPU. And the GPU which will be inside the Qualcomm's Snapdragon 835 will be coming with more graphic performance. So you will have a better gaming experience. It will be able to render the complex graphics. At the same time, it will allow the developers to bridge the gap between the desktop based games and the mobile based games. So you will be having an overall good performance regarding to the gaming and graphics in this new SoC. As the performance is the biggest defining factor of any SoC, the power consumption is also an inevitable one. The Snapdragon 835 will come with 40% more power efficiency than the previous generation SoCs. Now, this will allow the devices to last longer than the current generation smartphones. That will be a great thing to have. I mean, your phone will last much longer and you will have more screen on time than the current generation devices. The new chipset will bring with it the Qualcomm's all-new Quick Charge 4.0. So the batteries will be charged faster than the current generation quick charge capabilities. Though there are so many companies which have actually implemented this kind of technology, like OnePlus 3T or OnePlus 3 has been using the dash charge, Motorola is using turbocharge, and so on. So fast charging would be a great feature to have in the next generation smartphones. Having more power and less power consumption, the next generation CPU will directly affect the benchmarks. So let us see how the device will perform in actual world using this SoC, and let us see which manufacturer uses this chipset for first. So this was all about the Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 835. Tell us your thought about this chipset right into the comment box and give your suggestions so that I can improve myself. This is GeetChauhan and thank you for watching my video.